This question is from Veena Sampat regarding the mind and consciousness. When the mind brings up some disturbing thoughts and we decide to switch our attention to something more uplifting, is the direction to change my attention to an uplifting thought given by consciousness, or is it the mind itself? In the analogy of the chariot being the senses, the charioteer being the mind, and the consciousness sitting behind as the owner of the chariot, does consciousness have the capacity to give directions, or is it always only an observer?
All right. Basically, the question is, does consciousness, pure consciousness, the Atman, does it do anything at all? Like, for example, giving directions. Is it the controller? Is it there's a little guy in the head controlling everything, pressing the switches? You sometimes see huge construction machinery, cranes and stuff near buildings, and you'll see a little control box there, way up. And there'll be a guy sitting there pressing the buttons, and all the huge cranes and things will be moving. So is there a little guy sitting up there, which is called consciousness, which is controlling everything here? Or is consciousness just the witness? Now, she mentions the chariot analogy. That comes from the Katha Upanishad. So in the Upanishad, the body is the chariot. Shariram is ratham. Ratha is sharira. Body is the chariot. And the senses are the horses. So the horses are running along the lanes on the road. And the lanes on the road are the 5 sense objects. Form for the eyes, sound for the ear, taste for the tongue, smell for the nose, touch, hard, soft, warm, cold for the tactile sense. So these are the horses, and the objects are the road on which they run. Now, how do you control the horses? With the reins. You hold these reins which are connected to the horses, and the charioteer holds them. The reins are the mind. So all the horses, all the senses report to the mind, and the mind controls them. See that, hear that, focus on this, taste that. And when the mind gives these commands, the eyes go there, the ears pay attention, the tongue goes and tastes that, all of that. So all the senses obey the mind, and the information they gather from the world outside, they dump into the mind. So the mind is like the reins. And then there is the driver, the charioteer. In a modern vehicle, you would say the mind is like the steering wheel. But the steering wheel is in the hands of the charioteer. And the charioteer is the buddhi, intellect. It's not consciousness. It's the intellect. The intellect drives the chariot. Where to go, speed, which turn to take, which exit ramp, and all of that. Everything is done by the charioteer. And then what about the passenger? That's you. That's the real you. And that's consciousness, Atman, witness consciousness. Now, according to Vedanta, if you use this paradigm, our problem is we think we are the whole chariot. We are the body and the senses and the mind and intellect, and consciousness, if you insist, yes, I'm conscious too. We don't pay much attention to that. But Vedanta tells you your consciousness and consciousness alone. The rest of it, the intellect and the mind and the senses and the body, they're all supplied by nature. It's Uber, it's not even your car. You've hired it for a particular journey, yes. You've called it up, it's arrived, and now you're on a journey. It's going to drop you off at some time and go on. So, the body, the senses, the mind, the intellect, they all belong to nature. And they'll take you where you're supposed to go. So you are the witness consciousness. It's a good analogy. And remember, this analogy is meant for spiritual practice. And the Upanishad goes on to say, then what do we need to do to reach our goal, which is enlightenment? We need, first of all, the senses to be under control. The senses to be under control. The senses to be trained. So senses have their autonomous intelligence. We can train our mind, our eyes, our ears, our tongue to taste and see and hear that which is beneficial and develop a liking for that which is beneficial. Unless we train them, they'll go along instinctive paths or past programming, and then it might not take us where we want to go. So training of the senses, number one. Second, the mind which holds the senses. Imagine you're driving but the steering wheel comes loose in your hand. Then the car doesn't respond to what you're doing. If the reins with which you are controlling the horses are loose. So what is the training for the mind? It's called mindfulness. And today we are using the term mindfulness, literally that term, thousands of years ago. Yamaraja tells Nachiketa, samanaska, mindfulness, attention. Modern positive psychologists are discovering more and more how much depends on attention. Attention, make the mind mindful, aware of what we are doing, thinking. And then, what about the driver? What about the charioteer? What training is there for the charioteer? The buddhi, the intellect. It says, Vijnanavan must be filled with the right ideas and knowledge. For example, what we are doing in Vedanta, we are training the intellect, the driver. The driver must have the right coordinates. You must have fed in the right data into your Uber app. Otherwise, the driver won't take you to the right place. And then only you, the passenger, you will reach your goal, which is enlightenment. So it's a sort of it's an analogy or a metaphor maybe. Very ancient philosophy. This is called Sankhya. It says there are two ultimate realities in this universe. Consciousness, that's you. And everything else. Material nature, the whole universe. And this whole universe, material nature, serves the purpose of consciousness in the presence of consciousness. What is the purpose of all of this? If there is a purpose, yes, there is a purpose. It is called bhoga apavarga. Bhoga apavarga. Bhoga means experience. Consciousness, for whatever reason, wishes to experience the universe. And the universe, material nature, will provide it with experiences, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, from the most terrible to the most sublime, from the grossest to the most artistic, all kinds of experiences, from hells to heavens, everything will be provided by nature to you, lifetime after lifetime, until you are tired of it, until you have learned and you want release. That is called apavarga. Apavarga is an ancient word for moksha. We have heard of terms like mukti, moksha, nirvana. Much more ancient word is apavarga, which is found in Sankhya philosophy. Release, the final release. That too, nature will provide. When you want that, you will find the mind gets equipped with detachment, yearning for self-realization. You end up listening to Vedanta talks on YouTube and bhajans instead of pop music, and then spend a Sunday morning in a Vedanta society instead of watching the game on TV or something like that. What has happened? Now nature, it's all nature. Nature is providing you with those elements needed for spiritual realization. Yes. So answer, yes. It is the buddhi, the intellect, which is the driver in the presence of consciousness. Is it done separately? No. Nature, according to Sankhya philosophy, nature acts for the sake of consciousness in the presence of consciousness. So the technical terms are Prakriti and Purusha. And the example they gave is the lame man and the blind man. The blind man can walk but can't see where he's going. And the lame man cannot walk but can see where he is going. So the blind man takes the lame man on his shoulder and they go together. The lame man tells the blind man where to go, and the blind man takes the lame man where they have to go together. So it's a consciousness and matter, spirit and matter together. The two work together. This is Sankhya philosophy.